I'm Ray Rickman, Executive Director of Stages of Freedom. I'm really grateful today that the United States of America is not at war with Iran. The reason I'm grateful is because I believe the President of the United States, Donald Trump, did you hear I put all that together? President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, doesn't understand what it will mean to go to war with Iran. I believe Iran doesn't want to go to war with us, and the generals and the Pentagon and Secretary of State have enough sense, intelligence, not to go to war with Iran. It's going to be bloody if it happens. I believe there will be a draft of a whole bunch of young men. They're still studying legally. Young women can also be drafted, but they haven't quite figured out what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. So it's just our sons who have to pick up arms and troop across the Middle East, foreign lands, and get in a shooting battle with Iranians. Now, Josh gives me this time, and I could just stand here and say, I don't want to do war. But I want to remind us of something. In 1953, the United States of America, Eisenhower's president, they put the Shah of Iran on a throne in Iran and eliminated a kind of weak, weird democracy, if we want to call it that, with a tough, able enabler, the Shah of Iran. I've read 3 books on him, and again, he never could have ruled Iran without us. And at the end of, Carter was president of the United States. The Iranians, it's very complicated, but they ran him off the throne, ran him out of Iran. He trooped around the world and ended up in Florida for his health and then died. The Iranians don't like us. We control their country for decades. Now, the average American is unaware of this. And then we sent our dictator, Saddam Hussein of Iraq, to get into a war with Iran, where millions were killed. We don't seem to remember this either. So Iraq and Iran had this bloody fight, and Iraq was our proxy. That's us at war without sending young Americans to die. But Iraqis died, and people from Iran died, including lots of civilians who weren't combatants. So we have this 55-year history, messy, nasty. They hate us. And then comes along President Obama, and he tries to ratchet it down because Iran's trying to create atomic weapons officially to protect themselves against us. And he gets an agreement that they won't do it. Trump comes to office and, of course, puts all of that aside and, again, begins to poke at, mess with the Iranians. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not doing anything except telling you factual matters. We don't want to get in a war with Iran because they believe we will be extreme and topple their government and make their country an extension of the United States of America, like we did with Iraq until the last year or two of that dictator's rule. Pay attention. We don't want to go to war. We don't want hundreds of thousands of Americans trooping across the Middle East. We need to be cleaning our rivers and fixing our public schools.